葡萄牙整支球队球员领头的 C 罗。
Years ago to the day, a friendly in France, they lost 2-1. And just a few short days later, his first competitive match, a European qualifier that they won in Copenhagen against Denmark.
It was tremendous, I think, what Fernando Santos has done in charge of the national side. Sometimes when you look at European teams in these types of tournaments, it's about whether they've got any tangible silverware. It's a position England would have loved to have been in, wouldn't it? Reigning European champions going into the next round of qualifying. It's still a world away for the English national team, but Portugal gritted the teeth, worked the way towards the actual title last time out.
Cristiano Ronaldo! First sight of Luxembourg's goal for him, and after his 4 goals against Lithuania just last month, well, records all over the place for this man.
Well, he's the most clear and obvious threat, isn't he? A couple of yards he was given just on the edge of the 18-yard box, nowhere near close enough. Luxembourg just whistles over the bar, doesn't it?
Saying about the records for Cristiano Ronaldo, some 93 goals in 160 caps, and the Ali Day of Iran, they're on the world stage for him to beat now. 16 more required to equal his number.
Staggering, really, wasn't it? Again, that was discussion in the lead-up to the game, and talk of him getting 16 goals in this game was swiftly put to bed by all and sundry.
Jean Felix, this young protege who's come into the team after his big money move in the summer, up against the Luxembourg captain on this near side, Laurent Jans, who's playing at right back once again, on the right of this Luxembourg back 4. Morris, the goalkeeper, one of several who plies his trade in Belgium. Danilo's in the middle, and Morris saw enough, punched enough. And Gerson Rodriguez able to retrieve far side. Danilo recovering. Vincent Thiel to his captain, Jans. And historically, Luxembourg, who've never qualified for major European or World Championships, but they have seen an awful lot of improvements in the last few years, especially. Their world ranking has gone up. They are 93 in the world now, rather than in the hundreds. Bernardo Silva grappling. Jans. Well, did he get a bit of Bernardo Silva there rather than the ball?
Real stern look at it, didn't he, the referee? Obviously, Bernardo Silva's protestations may have swayed him. Stood firm, though.
João Felix, Cristiano Ronaldo. João Felix snapped away by Gerson. Israel Moutinho. Ronaldo on the spin. He's appealing for a tug from Lars Gerson. It's a fairly frenetic first 5 minutes.
Really lively stance, isn't it, by the home side? A couple of questions being asked of the referee. This first one, Bernardo Silva going down. He's looking for the penalty more than anything else. It was a really hefty swing, isn't it, by the Luxembourg catch? And don't think it catches Bernardo Silva, though.
Well, two of the Thiel brothers once again in this Luxembourg side. Number 15, you just saw Olivier Thiel.
This possibly was the Ronaldo show, wasn't it? There was a shoulder on his arm. Don't know whether that's enough to knock a man of his stature, of his power, of his size off balance. Would have been an extremely soft penalty to give.
João Felix.
It's a risky game to play, though, isn't it, with Ronaldo around? As I said, he's a very powerful athlete, very strong runner on the ball and away with the ball, but going down that easily meant that it was relatively straightforward for the referee to make a decision.
Of course, if Cristiano Ronaldo or any other Portuguese striker in the Luxembourg penalty area feels any contact, it is the norm these days to expect a penalty kick to result. No VAR tonight, should just point that out.
This was the early one, wasn't it, with Bernardo Silva? It does look messy. You can't debate that, as does this one. Gerson's arm comes up onto Ronaldo's shoulder. Anything that looks remotely theatrical first time around looks even worse with slow motion, doesn't it?
And the referee has to be sure.
Absolutely.
So if there's an element of doubt, he's going to let the play go.
I mean, there's two schools of thought, isn't there? I mean, if a defender's going to have his arms up around Ronaldo's shoulders, then yes, he's going to try and play the game, try and maximise that, but as we know, he can shrug off an opponent, he can hold people off. In that instance, if he stays on his feet, does he work the shot? Possibly.
Lovely combination here with Rafael Guerreiro. Nelson Semedo. The option there with Bruno Fernandes. Fernando Santos yesterday was talking about the need for Portugal to dominate the game from the start. They did so to some extent last month, and they were rewarded with plenty of goals, a hatful, 9 in all in the matches away to Serbia and Lithuania. Here's Danilo, who got the first of Portugal's goals in these European qualifiers for UEFA Euro 2020. Guerreiro acknowledging the error, and he's going to get a yellow card.
Pepe's certainly done his job here, hasn't he? Came over to make the point to the referee. It's a very clumsy challenge. That's what Barrero's trying to do. He's trying to get as close to Danilo as possible.
That's a horrible one down the Achilles, isn't it?
I thought it looked a bit of a cheap one, but the fact that it is studs up on the back of the heel. Danilo obviously in there for William Carvalho. The man just keeps them ticking along, that real kind of brute force in the middle of the pitch.
And he will miss the next match for Luke Holtz as Luxembourg coach, which will be away to Serbia. Olivier Thiel, who's out there wearing 15, he's the other on the disciplinary tightrope at the moment. Barrero here goes in again on João Moutinho. He's a young lad, only 19. What I think it's fair to say about Luxembourg is how their players individually as well as collectively have grown. I mentioned about the rise in the world rankings. They now have 19 pros, nearly all of whom are here today with one or two exceptions. Maurice de Ville, for example. A lot of them play their trade outside of Luxembourg in bigger, better leagues, stronger leagues.
Well, that can only feed into the relative strength, can't it, of the national side. Just the debate about players going away from their home country to better themselves rages on across Europe and across world football, but if it does drag the standard of the national team up, gets them up the rankings, allows them to participate in tournaments or the build-up to tournaments as we've seen thus far, then it's only a good thing for the national side.
This is Vincent Thiel, younger of the brothers. Well, with Dave Tourpel up front, he's come in for Maurice de Ville. Orangeans wearing the captain's armband, playing on the right side of their back four. There's no Mario much these days for Luxembourg, their all-time caps record holder. On the Luxembourg bench actually has Portuguese parents. He's closing in on that all-time record. Nelson Semedo can play on either side. Same as João Cancelo, who wasn't included in Portugal's group this time around. Not getting regular first-team starts with his new club Manchester City so far in the Premier League this season.
I do get the feeling once he's up and running there, that'll reflect on his stature within the national side.
Oh, blessed with fullbacks, aren't they? Ricardo of Leicester City called into the group as well this time. Now João Felix, Rafael Guerreiro ahead of him. Ignored the option to play in the fullback and went for the glory himself.
He's finding some nice little pockets of space, João Felix. Again, Luxembourg sit off. Way too much time to work it onto his left foot. Doesn't generate enough power there to beat Morris from outside the 18-yard box. A couple of sighters that we've seen from distance from the home side. Nothing too dangerous as yet.
Given away cheaply here to Danilo. João Moutinho to João Felix. Bruno Fernandes a little bit too tight. One thing, David, I think is particularly promising for Portugal is the way that Ronaldo and João Felix are linking.
Seem to be looking for each other, don't they, when they are in advanced positions. I think perhaps he'd be forgiven for many a Portuguese player seeing Ronaldo as the first and obvious pass, but I think we've discussed this before when we've watched Portugal. We watched them at the last tournament also. There will come a time when he does finish. I don't know when that's going to be, but at some stage they've got a plan for how this team looks, trying to fill that huge Ronaldo-shaped hole.
Interesting so far that Ronaldo has stayed positively up through the centre. Joao Felix playing wider on the left. Danilo and João Moutinho, the holders in midfield, allowing Bruno Fernandes to push on a little bit more centrally. Bernardo Silva. Joao Felix, oh, big chance. Best chance.
That's a wonderful move. Superb through ball to Joao Felix. Again, times he runs to perfection. And I think in the whole movement of what we see there, the first touch is possibly the hardest part. He gets it under control, tees it up nicely for a left-footed volley. It's just inches that he drags it wide of Morris's goal. Really smart first touch, which tees it up.
Well, stolen back here by Luxembourg. There's Vincent Thiel. Turpel trying a touch of the Ronaldos. And they've got to try to play with courage, without fear.
Of course they do. They've also got to make sure that they upset the rhythm that Portugal find themselves settling into. Tactical free kicks such as that, deep in the opposition half.
They haven't picked up Semedo. He's in behind. Danger here for Luxembourg. Surely number one, Bernardo Silva wraps his foot around it and puts Portugal in front. A wonderfully quick breakaway featuring the fullback Nelson Semedo.
Well, just applauded Luxembourg for giving away a tactical foul inadvertently. It set them on the back foot, put Portugal in a position where they could counter-attack down the right-hand side. Such a willing runner in Nelson Semedo. Bernardo Silva in the right place at the right time. It was a wonderful ball, isn't it? Stays on his feet so very well. Ronaldo's the obvious target in the middle of the pitch, but as the ball runs away, all he can do is run into the goalkeeper. Very fortunate ricochet falls into the path of Bernardo Silva. It's a five-a-side tap-in after that. It's been coming, no real clear-cut chances, apart from the Joao Felix drag of the left-footed volley. Undoubtedly a deserved opener by the home side.
Here's Burnett. Trapped by Ruben Dias. Colts, Luxembourg's coach, 50 years old now, replaced Yellow's some 9 years ago. After a few years in charge of Luxembourg's under-21 team. Olivier Thiel with this Luxembourg free kick. His brother is there as well. Fraternal choice to be made. Out by Bruno Fernandes.
Had to be dealt with. It's exactly what they need to be in this first half, throughout the 90 minutes for Fernando Santos. No nonsense defensively, creative and expansive going forward.
Brothers at odds for a moment. Vincent and Olivier Thiel. There is an older brother still, Sebastian. Luxembourg have been savouring the chance to come and play in this wonderful arena. They all hooked up on Sunday and Monday, depending on their club commitments, and then flew into Lisbon on Wednesday afternoon. It's the first time these two have met in a European Championship qualifier. Pushed by Rafael Guerrero, pass on Teal. He's actually been paired in qualifying for 4 previous World Cups. Portugal winning 7 of those 8 encounters. João Felix plotting a very single-minded course through there. Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, João Felix. Oh, Carlson in firmly, strongly. There's Danilo. João Moutinho. And the goal scorer, Bernardo Silva. João Moutinho. Knocked off by Olivier Teal.
Cranking under the pressure, are they? Wonderful tackle though by Carlson on João Felix. No nonsense. Both players got up, carried on with the game. It's not always a given nowadays, is it? You see a 50-50 tackled with such velocity.
Actually, just one nice line about Luxembourg's only win in those World Cup qualifiers. Back in October 1961, 58 years ago, a certain Eusebio scored his first ever Portugal goal on his international debut. Fernando Santos turned 65 yesterday. No huge celebrations, but I'm told the players did bring him in a very large and tasty cake.
They'll do anything to get picked, won't the players? Terrible.
Notice we didn't get a slice.
He's a wonderful presence though, isn't he? His face does belie his expressions, you know exactly what he's feeling. Does crack a smile occasionally, perhaps when a trophy's been lifted, but other than that it's very much business as usual.
When you think back to when he took over, I mentioned 5 years to the day since his first time on the bench. Took over from Paulo Bento, September 2014, after Portugal had lost to Albania. Of course, he also did some very sterling work with Greece when he succeeded Otto Rehhagel. And Greece to European Championship of 2012, and then the last 16 of the World Cup 2 years later. Can't underestimate the amount of effort put in by Nelson Semedo to contribute to Bernardo Silva's goal. Can't overestimate the value of his run. Now Ronaldo. Twisting, pulling defenders one way then t'other.
He's frustrated with himself, isn't he? Just couldn't generate the power on his left foot. It's a sublime step over, but that left-footed touch just took him slightly too wide to really trouble Morris in the Luxembourg goal. There's a tangible change of temperature though, isn't there, when you see him get the ball in the crowd, first bench to the edge of the seats, then up onto the feet.
Could almost turn this into a quiz show, but Ronaldo does have a record tonight as well that he's chasing. Just trying to think what the quiz show could be called. What's Ronaldo's record tonight? Well, if he gets 2 goals, that would make 700 for club and country. And not too many have done that.
It's a staggering number, really, isn't it? Some very able lieutenants alongside him this evening also that would perhaps go out the way to facilitate the great man chalking up that milestone. And have a guess who's on the free kick.
Here's a tester for you while they take this. Who are the 3 players who've got more than 700? just past the midway point of the first half in Lisbon, and Morris making whatever adjustments he can. Cristiano Ronaldo, 93 Portuguese goals so far in just 160 appearances. It's a tremendous ratio. Well, it's swerving and moving all over the place. Not this time.
Well, no, it's very much become his trademark, hasn't it? Striking the ball low, looking to punt it towards goal.
When you see the ball in slow motion like that, you realise it doesn't rotate much at all, and that's because of the way that he makes the initial contact with it.
It's a punch, isn't it, more than anything? Doesn't swing through it. Stops himself short of really following through on the shot. Just get that peculiar sight of the ball not rotating itself but moving in the air as it goes towards the goal. That's what bamboozles the goalkeepers on so many times.
Do you want me to give you those three names?
I was going to throw Pele in.
Yes, that's one of them.
And his claim was
not
north
for
of
UEFA.com. UEFA.com was the answer for me. Good, Muller and Romario.
Romario was about to be the next one.
Was he?
Out of my mouth.
Take your word on it. Turple. And still Luxembourg threatened here. And Rui Patricio on guard at his near post. Vincent Thiel.
Well, just enough here from Vincent Thiel to make sure that there's enough jeopardy in the game in the first half. Wonderful movement with the feet and a quite clear save from Rui Patricio in the Portuguese goal. And the fact you saw the reaction. It's a fine save, isn't it?
Swerving away. The officials must have thought it just went into the side netting. But could stop Rui Patricio. Despite their stuttering start in these European qualifiers, Portugal have started to flow in the way that we've come to expect in recent years. Chipped on here for Rafael Guerreiro, who's in behind Vincent Thiel. The set-up for Joao Felix, stabbed clear by Chano.
The wider parts of the pitch are really where you can see Portugal causing Luxembourg some problems. Obviously the first goal came from down the right-hand side. Two wider defensive players. Not scared at all about going forward.
Joao Felix with a touch off Bruno Fernandes. Well, they can pepper that Luxembourg goal from each and every angle. Patrolling up and down on the touchline there. Rather like an expectant father. That was almost a case of Russian roulette by the Luxembourg defence. Here's Jans, their captain, and he's spotted space for the opposite fullback, Carlsen. Luxembourg starting to play with a little more ambition, a little more creativity now. Jans. Herrera. Of Ruben Dias. Like Dodgems, Gerson Rodriguez bouncing off Pepe.
He's a very strong player, isn't he? There's been a couple of times he's gone shoulder to shoulder. Earlier on he went with Danilo. The two men came together. Danilo ended up on the floor.
The referee might have given a high foot there, but won fairly here by Portugal. Chano in pursuit for Luxembourg. Well, Morris, right idea actually. to try and find Carlson. Just not quite executed properly.
That's a fine line, isn't it? Yes, you want to make sure that you've got a solid foundation. Yes, you don't want to invite pressure on, but when the ball's there to be played, trust your teammate, give him a good pass, give him something he can work with moving forward. Giving the ball away from the opposition when you've not seen too much of it in the first half would be a way of having a bit of a breather.
Jans clipping it away from Joao Felix. What a great test it is for Luke Holtz and his team. Luke Holtz, who was actually involved in what was the only draw between these two teams back in October 1991. Coming up to half an hour play. Rafael Guerrero, lovely curl as always. He's such a good supply line. Turpel gallops forward here for Luxembourg. Takes Bruno Fernandes with him. Gerson Rodriguez in the centre. Here's Bonat. Turpel. Barrero. Higher tempo. And again, that little bit of finesse that's lacking.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's the first time I've really seen Turpel on the ball with it at his feet to get at the opposition. Very much the man that's leading the line for Luxembourg, and in a team such as this, when it is a 4-5-1 as we've seen, you're going to spend a fair bit of time on your own, closing down the opposition defence by yourself.
Creative midfielder by trade. Come from that one moment with Vincent Thiel, Portugal comfortable enough in the opening half an hour. Pepe, one of 3 Centurions in the side. Chance clear by Carlson. Still Bernardo Silva. Clever running Bruno Fernandes, just overhit.
Fantastic reverse pass by Bernardo Silva. It's just the eye contact with his teammate Fernandes to tell him exactly where he wants him to go. And after that, it's the willingness of the runner from midfield. Slightly overhit, not something he can level at Bernardo Silva too many times when it comes to his passing.
Thiel lost his orientation momentarily. Rui Patricio finding Nelson Semedo. Not too sure it was that convincing. And cleaner contact. Here's Danilo. Certainly feel as if in the last 5 minutes or so Luxembourg have raised their game.
Take confidence in the fact that half an hour in, yes, they are 1-0 down, but it's not been all one-way traffic, has it? They've shown competence and confidence in possession as and when they've had it. After that, it's about getting support to Turpel up front. Seen Rodriguez, I mean, certainly got the power and the prowess down the left-hand side to cause the Portuguese side some problems. It's just getting them on the ball more often than they have.
Vincent Thiel combining with Carlson. Olivier Thiel. Shooting chance, and well, the combination with the 2 Thiel brothers involved.
And again, a very workable chance. Didn't really test Rui Patricio in the end. Lobbed back towards his hands more than anything.
Jans under pressure from Ronaldo, kept his cool. with such star appeal these days, you wonder whether opponents sometimes play against him and feel a bit overawed. Trying to keep the mentality right, absolutely key for a coach. And João Felix running away from him just at the crucial moment.
It's a tough one, isn't it? I think there's also question marks perhaps about how teammates approach Ronaldo as well, but for Luke Holtz, what he's seen so far is a team ethic. Nobody's gone chasing out of shape to try and follow Ronaldo. Yes, he's got the ability to go as and where he needs to on a football pitch across that front line. And sometimes when you see him in games where there is an element of frustration, he drops deeper to try and get the ball, to try and generate some form of rhythm and cohesion to his side. I think so far they've dealt with that threat. Yes, it is 1-0. Yes, you try and talk about a team such as Luxembourg, and condensation can't be in the discussion at all. As we've said, as you said earlier on, Steve, about their improvement over the last few years, it's a palpable difference to what this team was 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Luxembourg keeping a good solid shape. You can see the players within their respective roles understand the position. Not something you could have said perhaps of the Luxembourg teams decades ago. Luke Holtz and his coaching staff have got what he believes is the strongest group of players the country has ever had. And that young man has had the best of their chances, Vincent Thiel. That's not meaning to be disparaging about Luxembourg and what they've achieved on the footballing stage. I think actually the UEFA Nations League has been a godsend for them. Semedo chasing. Not just the UEFA Nations League, you think about the benefits, removing some of the, well, less favourable friendlies, shall we say, and giving the likes of Luxembourg the chance to face countries of a more similar standing. They came second behind Belarus in League D Group 2, winning 3 of their 6 games. You can see some newfound confidence in their approach here.
Can indeed, in any organisation, in any way of developing what is already a very well-known format, when change comes, when it's new, there's detractors, there's naysayers, there's people that really back it, there's teams and countries that have different opinions on it, but I think, quite rightly say, Steve, the example of Luxembourg is one of the real benefits of having such a tournament.
Olivier Thiel going where no man was meant to go. Well, a huge disparity, of course, in the amount of possession, the amount of passes between the two countries. Portugal, the onus very much on them as the home team. Well, Ronaldo here trying to pick his way through. Danilo. João Moutinho. There is an expectation with being the reigning champions, being the winners of the UEFA Nations League, being 5th in the world. Feather-like touch from Bernardo Silva, going for the return, tracked by Jans. Rafael Guerreiro, João Moutinho, is Danilo. Nelson Semedo linking in this attack, Ronaldo on the turn. Luxembourg recovering. That's not completely.
No, it's so congested, isn't it, in the middle of the pitch? Every time that Portugal go down either flank, that's where they're going to find some real joy. As we know, Bernardo Silva, players that don't mind taking it in extremely tight areas, but I mean, there's tight areas, then there's the middle of the pitch that Luxembourg are flooded with white shirts.
They'll take the throw here, and they'll take it quickly. Pepe, Bernardo Silva. Pepe trying to pierce Shano and that Luxembourg rearguard.
Feels like an efficient first half from the home side, not ruthlessly efficient by any stretch of the imagination, but yes, they've gone ahead. Yes, they've kept Luxembourg out. They've dominated possession, created marginally better chances. Managed to force the Luxembourg team back. As I said, it's a wall of white, one bank of four, one bank of five, Turple up front, trying to do his utmost to create a platform for the away side, but Fernando Santos, when he gets his team in at half-time, will tick a box from what he said pre-match. He wants to dominate from start to finish. Yes, they've dominated the first half, a couple of sloppy passes here and there, but over the course of what he's seen, yes, it's wonderful if the beautiful game explodes throughout the course of 90 minutes, but as we know what's at stake, it's about getting qualification.
Yeah, this one really for Portugal about no slip-ups. Danilo struggling to get back to his feet. With that meeting to come against Ukraine on Monday, Serbia watching on with eager eyes, hoping for Luxembourg to pull something out of the hat here. Gerson Rodriguez, Olivier T, Carlson, Bonat, who hasn't really been able to get into the game as much. He came in for Sinani today. You can always tell when there's a slight dip in the game, can't you, when the Mexican wave starts rippling round. That's what you were going to say, wasn't it?
And also the relative comfort that the home crowd feel as well. I mean, if it's a little tense, if there's an edge to this game, if there's a few late challenges, right on cue, Pepe. Traditional foul from him, but really does reflect the general comfort that the home crowd feel at this moment in time in how their side have approached the first half.
Couple of half chances of hands on Teal for Luxembourg. Nearly 2/3 possession for Portugal in the first half. Deservedly leading through that goal from Bernardo Silva. I think this time next month we're all going to have a UEFA.com simulator at the ready to work out all the possibilities for the UEFA Nations League playoffs that contribute the final 4 places to next summer's showpiece. 10 groups here, top 2 go through automatically, and then it's what happened in the Nations League that matters to see who goes through to the playoffs next March. It's quite a fun thing, that simulator, but don't ask me to work it out just yet.
Yeah, simulators go. I don't think it's going to be taking pride of place at any amusement park anytime soon, is it?
There are so many permutations, and of course that's part of the appeal. Other countries still can be involved here, and I think that's great for the game. I think you're way for trying to find that balance as well between rewarding the successful, proven nations and stimulating that growth at a lower level too, and we've seen that with Luxembourg here.
There's got to be that. I mean, you can't claim football to be a global game, but then cut it off to everyone but the elite, can you? We've seen a tournament, you've seen several tournaments, Steve, up close and personal, wonderful exhibitions of football, and what countries do come with the crowds that they bring to wherever they are playing in, wherever the tournament is in Europe. It's a fantastic sight to see on the ground, isn't it?
No added time at the end of the first half, which has been comfortable and confident for the reigning European champions. Just the one goal though for Fernando Santos and his Portugal team, scored by that man Bernardo Silva. Great breakaway, the heavily featured Nelson Semedo. Ronaldo's not got his latest record just yet, but still plenty of time for that. Luxembourg a couple of half chances, but at the break it's Portugal 1, Luxembourg 0.
Since when are we watching WWE? Dadu said when Papa was a schoolboy. You know Dadu, he still likes Hulk Hogan. But he also likes Seth Rollins. And Daddy's favorite. He keeps changing. But Charlotte is his all-time favorite. My Chachu, he doesn't stop bragging about Roman Reigns. And my favorite, I like them all. WWE Raw and WWE SmackDown, creating memories that will last forever. Only on Sony 10.1 and Sony 10.3. Subscribe now.
Brought to you by Trends. Get them talking. And Talks. Collect, build, trade. Get your Sony Network's sports channels. Subscribe to Happy India Pack. Starts at 31 rupees per month.
So, what's new in cricket? Belt up for cricket's new avatar.
Non-stop 4s and 6s in a super entertaining 90-minute format.
And amazing glitzy performances.
Action-packed 10-over game. Cricket will never be the same. Cricket's new avatar.
Abu Dhabi T10 League. From November 14 to 24, live only on Sony 6 and Sony 10.3.
Get your Sony Network's sports channels. Subscribe to Happy India Pack. Starts at 31 rupees per month. 20 nations from across the globe will compete for one coveted title. Catch all the action straight from Japan. Rugby World Cup 2019. 20th September to 2nd November. Live and exclusive on Sony 10.2. Get your Sony Network's sports channels. Subscribe to Happy India Pack. Starts at 31 rupees per month. Co-presented by Amul, the taste of India. In association with Trends. Get them talking. Get your Sony Network's sports channels. Subscribe to Happy India Pack. Starts at 31 rupees per month.
So Atalanta return to Bergamo, and they'll be hoping for a homecoming party to remember against a Lecce side that have won 2 of their 3 away games. And now maybe Atalanta will go up the other end. Gomez to Zapata, Ilicic in the middle, Gomez there as well, goes back to Alejandro Gomez and feeds it through to Ilicic, who has somehow dragged it wide. They tried launching a counter-attack, but they were caught cold themselves. No offside against Ilicic, and it's a fine stop by Gabriel. Duvan Zapata drills it into the far corner. and the away side have diced with death too many times when it comes to playing it out from the back. And their worst nightmare comes true because they gifted possession back and it fouled to Duvan Zapata about 8 yards out. It was a tight angle, but he can score them from anywhere. A lovely through ball. Mancuso will just stand it up, and it's a terrific delivery. Lamantia got the shot away. And then it fell to the edge of the box. That would have put the cat among the pigeons. It stood up brilliantly. A bit of confusion in the defence, and Lamantia 6 yards out. Here's Zapata into Gomez, into the box. Alejandro Gomez into the same corner as Duvan Zapata put it just a few minutes ago. Atalanta have doubled their lead. They have broken the resistance of the men from the south. And it's Zapata and Gomez are the dream duo for La Dea. Gomez round his man, looking to curl it. Gosens with a good ball into Ilicic. It's back to Gosens on his left. It's a fine goal. Robin Gosens started it and he finished it. Third goal of the season from that wing-back position. Palomino into Gomez, fancies the one-on-one on his right. Alejandro Gomez. Fine stop by Gabriel. Seven in the box for Lecce. Delivery's good and turned home. Fabio Lucioni up from centre-back. His first goal in Serie A. And it may well be a consolation. 4 minutes left. The deficit is down to 2. So Atalanta are back in Bergamo and back with a bang. They will face stiffer opposition in this stadium, but it was an utterly dominant performance from minute 1 to minute 90.
There's no such thing as a home banker, but the visit of Cagliari certainly comes close for Roma. The Sardinian visitors haven't scored here in 6.5 years, yet just a solitary point separates the Giallorossi and Rosso-Blu at the start of play. Good spot from Smalling. This is Justin Kluivert. Still Justin Kluivert. Might still break for Vertu. And Zaniolo, can he turn? Good save from Olsen. Roma's first effort. Cacciatore back in, that's Simeone. Is that handball? Mancini moving slightly awkwardly. And you and I have seen enough of the video assistant referee to know that typically this ends in an award of a penalty. Penalty to the visitors. João Pedro to give the visitors the lead, and he does so. Cagliari in front against the run of play. Midway through this first period. Through towards Kluivert, and Dzeko is nearly there. Instead it's an own goal. It didn't reach the Bosnian. And Roma are back on level terms. Kluivert's ball in. Cepitelli puts through his own net. Kolarov with the corner. Smalling attacked it. Zaniolo now. Narrowly wide. Well won by Smalling. It breaks for Zaniolo. Is this the moment for Roma? Nicolò Zaniolo. Good readjustment from Olsen. He was nearly foxed by the deflection there. Kolarov with the free kick meets Cristante's header. And again, Olsen was scrabbling and scrambling across. Lovely shape on the ball from Kolarov. And I think the Swede was beaten by that. Good flicked header. Alexander Kolarov. Checo's touch was heavy. He's not looked sharp today, but he's kept it. Kolarov now. Still a chance for Zaniolo. And Olsen able to respond. Santon towards Checo. And down for Kalinic. It's in. Roma have a winner. Olsen wants a free kick. But the change has paid dividends. Paulo Fonseca can't believe it. He fully expected to see that goal. Confirmed. And Roma on course for 3 points. It's not a late winner. Checo did well. There, that's a shove, surely. And a kick from Kalinic, I think. It's a deep ball in. Checo and Kalinic. Cagliari have a precious point. Roma couldn't find a way through in the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, WWE Sunday धमाल में सब कुछ होने वाला है बोर्ड. सब कुछ होने वाला है बोर्ड. सब कुछ होने वाला है अति खतरनाक. And that's the bottom line, cause Sahil Khattar said so.
WWE Sunday Dhamal, Sony 10-1 पर. Co-presented by Tops Collect Build Trade. Get your Sony Network's sports channels. Subscribe to Happy India Pack. Starts at 31 rupees per month.
So, what's new in cricket? Belt up for cricket's new avatar.
Non-stop 4s and 6s in a super entertaining 90-minute format.
And amazing glitzy performances.
Action-packed 10-over game. Cricket will never be the same. Cricket's new avatar.
Abu Dhabi T10 League. From November 14 to 24, live only on Sony 6 and Sony 10
Get your Sony Network's sports channels. Subscribe to Happy India Pack. Starts at 31 rupees per month. 20 nations from across the globe will compete for one coveted title. Catch all the action straight from Japan. Rugby World Cup 2019. 20th September to 2nd November. Live and exclusive on Sony 10-2. Get your Sony Network's sports channels. Subscribe to Happy India Pack. Starts at 31 rupees per month.
A new era in football is about to kick off, where talent meets opportunity and guts meet grit. Here, protégés will turn into professionals. Watch the stars of the future create history today. FIFA Under-17 World Cup, Brazil 2019, starts 27th October, live on Sony 10-2.
Get your Sony Network's sports channels. Subscribe to Happy India Pack. Starts at 31 rupees per month.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, WWE Sunday धमाल में सब कुछ होने वाला है बोर्ड. सब कुछ होने वाला है बोर्ड. सब कुछ होने वाला है अति खतरनाक. And that's the bottom line, cause Sahil Khattar said so.
WWE Sunday Dhamal, Sony 10 पर. Co-presented by Tops, Collect, Build, Trade. Get your Sony Network's sports channels. Subscribe to Happy India Pack. Starts at 31 rupees per month.
Welcome back to a starlit Lisbon. Mobile phone flashbulbs on everywhere, but Luxembourg making a change and a reversal from the match last month. Daniel Sinani coming on for the second half in place of Florian Bonnet. Portugal leading by 1-0. The European champions, having looked comfortable and confident in that first 45 minutes, up against a Luxembourg team that have been very well organised, 4-5-1 shape. But one change made at the start of the second period, and Florian Bonnet replaced by Daniel Sinani. Sinani wearing 14, just playing to the right of that central midfield three. There he is.
No real surprises there. Burnett was there in the first half. Did he touch the ball too much? Not particularly. Sinani perhaps tasked with at least getting a foothold in the game in the centre of the pitch for Luxembourg.
Gerson and Maxime Chanot, the two centre-backs for Luxembourg. Oranjans, their captain and full-back. Here's Danilo. Portugal's goal scorer, Bernardo Silva. And Gerson snapping at the heels of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Maybe snapping a bit too intently. Talisman there just wincing with modicum of pain after that challenge.
Does always seem to have a knack, Cristiano Ronaldo, of shrugging off minor injuries. I think it's his general level of fitness is just exceptional.
There's always seemed to be in any game that we've covered when we watch him, Steve, isn't there, that element of getting the Ronaldo postcard of your studs on his ankle or getting as close as possible to the ground man and making sure that he knows that you're around.
Well, there's the challenge.
Case in point.
All seen by Carlson. Here's Sinani, the substitute, to Dave Turpel, who's come into the Luxembourg lineup in place of Maurice Reveal today. Reveal, one of a couple of players injured. Christopher Martins also sidelined. Bernardo Silva, good positive support play by Bruno Fernandes. Nelson Semedo eventually losing out to Gerson Rodriguez. Danilo got his foot in.
From Luke Holtz's point of view, you want Rodriguez in the game more in the second half. We saw a couple of times physically he's got the threat that he can pose Portugal. Yes, it's a tough remit that they've got. Defensively, they've got to stay sound, not open themselves up too much to allow Portugal to exploit them. Wider parts of the pitch, you feel, for the home side is where the attacks may bear more fruit than going down a central congested part of the pitch. This really is where the Luxembourg strength is.
Rafael Guerreiro, Cristiano Ronaldo, João Moutinho, Bruno Fernandes. Well hit and well held.
Had to grab it on the second attempt, didn't he, Morris?
And let's not forget how close Luxembourg came to upsetting Ukraine. In the first meeting they lost 2-1, but that was an own goal from Gerson Rodriguez in the 93rd minute. And then only losing by a single goal away from home. Not a country that capitulates easily these days. Rafael Guerreiro. Scampering along. That's the decision from the referee.
Such a cheap one to give away, isn't it? Moving away from goal. Good even to it, it'll be a throw-in at most.
Morris, alert, watchful. Rafael Guerreiro, João Moutinho. It's the left back. By Sinani, back by João Felix. And there was that Ronaldo moment where the whole crowd was right on the edge of its seat. Gerson Rodriguez. Turpel inside him. Running into a bit of a Portuguese cul-de-sac there. Danilo. Good strength. And Guerreiro determined to try and take it off his toes, but the referee's already blown.
That's exactly his job. So responsible in possession there, Danilo. We talked about William Carvalho doing a very similar job in that instance, keeping them ticking over.
Ronaldo. He's got three with him. Down in the box, looks at the ref, nothing doing.
Certainly a few Luxembourg players paying him very close attention. Does catch the very outside of his right foot. It's Teal, isn't it? Going into the box to try and make sure that there's some form of tackle made. Sinani, I should apologise, he's the man that's come in. I think the reaction by Ronaldo, though, he's looking straight back at the referee. He knows exactly what he wants.
Just a sense for me that his right foot flicked out at the defender very slightly rather than the other way round. Such a marginal call. Goalkeeper's miles out here. And as we said before, David, if the referee's not 100% sure, then he hasn't got VAR here today. He hasn't got that to, well, even fall back on, if that's the right expression.
That's exactly right. Yes, it can look clumsy. Yes, you have three players around Ronaldo that we're all very, very worried about making any form of contact with the captain as he bursts into the 18-yard box. I think the reaction comes from the frustration at the earlier chance that he missed, the overhead kick, which for me, for Cristiano Ronaldo, is a relatively straightforward chance.
Bruno Fernandes, Nelson Semedo, great tackle, Carlson. Clean, precise. Sinani, excuse me, ref, who will now do the drop ball thing.
The referee's got to make an instant decision, hasn't he? Because this ball quite clearly does play Portugal into a position of real advantage there. But this is the earlier suggestion that I was saying. Yes, it's an overhead kick. Yes, it's a tough chance. How many times have we seen Ronaldo do that from further out and get it pretty much flying past the goalkeeper?
Never better than Real against Juve.
I think in those instances when we've seen him there, he does have a sixth sense of where the goal is and where the goalkeeper's positioned in between the posts. That one, fortunately for Luxembourg, went straight towards Morris in goal.
Ronaldo, nearly. Gerson Rodriguez looking for Olivier Teal. Has placed it. Bruno Fernandes. Bernardo Silva. Guess who? Oh, great lead, Shano. Flicked it away in the nick of time.
Superb defending. Almost looked inch perfect, didn't it, towards Cristiano Ronaldo's head. Nassim Shano with most important touches.
Given away cheaply. Ronaldo tees up Bruno Fernandes! And the goalkeeper just had to stand tall and strong.
It's the frequency now, isn't it? They'll be worrying for Luxembourg and Luke Holtz. Chances coming thick and fast for the home side.
Recriminations in the Luxembourg defence as they try and avert and repel this Portuguese onslaught. Whistle eventually came. Bernardo Silva has stopped before.
Good job the referee blew, wasn't it?
There's Raul Moutinho. Well, Nelson Semedo in behind. That's a straight at Gerson. Turple.
Chatting just in the break, weren't we, Steve, about the fact that Luxembourg was a very straightforward half for Portugal, but Luxembourg were in the game. Got to really make sure that that second goal doesn't go in. I'm not saying they're going to capitulate, but get the feeling with the chances, the quality of chance that the home side can create. If two go in, then 3 and 4 may follow.
Well, Luxembourg, they feel they still have a little more to offer here in an offensive sense. Jans, Turple, Sinani. Nicely spread to Gerson Rodriguez, who can be a threat here. Really just eased off balance by Nelson Semedo there.
Scooping the shot wide on his left foot when he's got to go back across goal. Rare sight of goal in the second half of the away side.
Certainly without Portuguese parents, Gerson Rodriguez with some Portuguese roots. The Luxembourg media officer yesterday was telling me that around about a third of the country has connections with Portugal one way or another. Oranjans overdoing it, could pay a heavy price. Ronaldo!
It's extremely obvious where the chance comes from, isn't it? Jans there making his way back, wild-eyed. He knew that he's run forward left. A huge hole for Portugal to try and penetrate.
Luxembourg a little bit in danger of shooting themselves in the foot. João Moutinho with it. And finally, Ruben Dias coming forward. Not happy he didn't get it on target.
Well, it's his shoulder, isn't it? I think that's where the shake of the head comes from, Ruben Dias. This was the chance that Ronaldo had. You know, he wants to chop it back onto his right. He does just that with a nice little Cruyff turn. Just the fingertips of Morris that send it perhaps further wide than it was already going. Didn't quite think he was going to nestle in the bottom corner.
Changed in for Luxembourg with maybe Turpel, replaced by De Motta. Saying about the record of Mario Much, De Motta slowly but surely closing in. De Motta winning his 97th cap today to go that little bit closer to Jeff Strasser, Mario Much. The two ahead of him on that all-time appearance list.
It's a nice bit of experience to bring on with half an hour to go, isn't it?
João Felix. And here's Cristiano Ronaldo. Devilishly running through, and he clipped heels and went behind for the corner.
I almost feel he's getting closer. Anywhere will do at this moment in time for Luxembourg.
Shano. Quick corner, not taking Morris by surprise.
It almost took Portugal by surprise, didn't it? Only 3 players in the box, massively outnumbered by Luxembourg.
Sinani, looking for Gerson Rodriguez. Oh, lovely skill, wonderful stuff. That was a crowd pleaser from Bernardo Silva. Here's De Motta for Luxembourg. That's on 97, Jeff Strasser 98, Mario Much on 101. That's the skill from Bernardo Silva.
Superb touch, wasn't it? Yes and no. Unequivocal in the way that he approached that tackle, repelling Bernardo Silva after the nice little touch.
By the way, just for the purists, the statisticians out there, Mario Much, 101 officially. You may see it as 102 in a number of places, but according to the Luxembourg FA, friendly against Belgium was annulled from the records because Belgium made 8 changes in that match. So they tell me, I tell you officially, 101, not 102. Who keep records?
It's a great barometer for how I live my life, Steve. What you tell me goes, and as long as we agree on that, we're okay.
Well, Ronaldo 2 for 700. Let's go with that one, shall we? Here he is. Club and country, I should add. Nelson Semedo. And no spillage from the goalkeeper. And it's given away rather cheaply. João Moutinho, Cristiano Ronaldo, João Felix, Jean steps in.
I think in that instance it was Moutinho that was better placed to take the shot on, but such was the proximity of Ronaldo. Blaring at him to get the ball back a couple of yards next to him. He got it back, couldn't quite manufacture the shot.
One player who actually does deserve to be listened to if he demands it. He's earned that right many times over. João Felix had started to just spurt forward there in behind that back line. It is looking rather more like 5 at the back. Vincent Thiel is tucked in more and more. Chan's just narrowing that defensive unit for Luxembourg. Rafael Guerreiro.
You get the sense that they're getting pushed further and further back. We saw in the first half as a 4-5-1, as you say, Steve. Perhaps looks like it drops back into a 5 at the back when it's defensively minded. Full pass though from the goalkeeper, Morris, right into the heart of the midfield.
Yeah, just sometimes when they're defending you feel as if they do need that extra layer of protection and cover.
I think as well what they've seen opening.
Mistake. Ronaldo's in. Ronaldo with the most sublime chip. What an exquisite finish. Absolute genius. When someone scores a goal like that, it is a goal from the gods.
Such a wonderfully taken goal, and we see it from Ronaldo's viewpoint. You try and contextualise it with the player that we're watching and having the honour of seeing in the flesh. The minute that this gets poked towards him, this is an unbelievably tough finish. A player of his world class makes it look so very, very straightforward. This to me is a Ronaldo tap, and it's above and over Morris. He's got absolutely no chance of getting anywhere near this. Look at the height that he gets. That's at least 3 foot over the goalkeeper. Bounces into the opposite corner. We really are in the presence of genius watching it at work. It's an absolute pleasure. Yes, it comes from a mistake by Luxembourg, but then the main man does exactly what the main man does.
Seeing it is one thing, executing it quite another. And when you see the ease with which he flicked it up off the toe, frankly, it was delicate, it was deft, it was curling.
It's an example of the decisiveness that we've seen 698 times previous to that one, isn't it? He knows exactly what he's going to do in the actual moment, and that's where the brilliance comes from. We've seen players that might get themselves into positions where questions are asked whether they can coolly slot home, whether they can take charge of the situation. Not many times does Ronaldo find himself in that situation without knowing what the next step is. He instinctively knows where the ball needs to go, how he needs to solve the problem presented, and he does it with such beauty that it's a joy to behold.
Well, Shano with the defensive mistake for Luxembourg. I was saying, I think I used the expression, they've been shooting themselves in the foot, and so it was there, but well, pick your superlatives.
That's the thing as well, isn't it? Talk about a team that's shooting itself in the foot. I presume the minute you look up and realise that that misplaced pass, that half-hearted tackle, has fallen at the feet of one of, if not the best player in the world, then you've got massive problems after that.
But officially, he's not even the world's best player now. Don't figure. Bernardo Silva. Just in an era when we've been blessed with Ronaldo, with Messi. Two quite extraordinary talents. Olivier Thiel. Here's Laurent Jans. Olivier Thiel. Off goes Sinani. Doesn't quite have the speed, but they do have the ball, and Luxembourg badly want a goal back here. A little too badly. There was an impetuousness about that shot from Sinani. Well, Cristiano Ronaldo for the record. Goal 94 for Portugal. 15 to Ali Day's record. One more for 700 for club and country.
It's a staggering statistic, isn't it? I mean, the sheer volume of goals is laughable in a way, because we're not looking at a player that's meandered round average leagues in Europe. He's gone to the top teams, won the top trophies, and done it with a team such as Portugal, which you have to say is greater than the sum of its parts. We spoke about Romario, we spoke about Pele, we spoke about Gerd Muller, but some statuesque teams they played for, definitely.
Bernardo Silva trying to force his way through. Yeah, the point you were making there, David, just why we've got a slight stoppage with an injury. Just being reminded in my ear, the likes of Pele, Romario scored in state leagues some of the time, and you think where Cristiano Ronaldo's goals have come, they've come the highest leagues in Portugal, England, Spain, Italy now, as well as on the international stage.
More often than not, they've been in games where there's been pressure, there's been speculation, there's been lots of attention, there's been plenty at stake. You look at his trophy haul as well, befits a man of such stature and goal-scoring prestige.
Pepe down at the bottom there on halfway with Gerson Rodriguez. There's maybe an arm out. Didn't look malicious or intentional. Not on first viewing.
It looked slightly innocuous, didn't it, from Rodriguez into the face of Pepe. I think the referee just making the note that maybe the fourth official is the one that's come in and helped the referee out here.
Yellow card show.
It's fallen to a bit of a grey area, doesn't it? I mean, if the referee or the fourth official's deemed that as Rodriguez put his hand into the face of Pepe and it being worthy of only a yellow card, then it's another area for debate.
Tano Gadesh to come on shortly. Carlson. Here's De Malta. Carlson, broken kindly this time, and Sinani just charged down at the crucial moment there.
Just shows in a game such as this when it's nicely balanced, just over 20 minutes, just about 20 minutes to go, sorry. A little ricochet, a spot of luck could find the ball at the feet of a Luxembourg forward looking to make an inroad into the Portuguese defence.
Ronaldo. Bruno Fernandes. Bernardo Silva onside. Clever from Joao Felix to just retreat.
He saw exactly where he was, didn't he? Had to come back from an offside position. Lovely little dink forward. Just couldn't get it down in time, Bernardo Silva.
I remember being lucky enough at Euro 96 in England to see Davor Schuker score a quite brilliant chip at Sheffield Wednesday's Hillsborough ground. And familiar territory for you, of course. Just thinking about it. But when you witness someone produce something like that, you don't forget it.
This falls into that category of when you see a top goal with a very good swing, knowing exactly where the ball needs to go. Obviously, compartmentally, it's different for a footballer. He's got to think on his feet in that instance. The ball comes to him, and just to be able to execute it with the panache that we've seen so many times from Ronaldo, the confidence, that goal goes in, and then there's a lightness to the way that he approaches the rest of the game, almost like a tiny weight's been lifted off his shoulders.
Nelson Semedo is pushing up. Bernardo Silva with a cutback. The referee thinks about it. No penalty here. Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva trying to work his way around Ronaldo. And Ronaldo not at all impressed that he's not been given the penalty.
In the end, he ended up getting in the way of his own teammates, didn't he? Bernardo Silva looking to make inroads, but Ronaldo lying prone on the floor. So, element of pinball took it back towards Morris. This is what he's asking for.
Well, Gerson hooks him out.
It's the reaction, I think. First off, he's looking for the penalty. Secondly, he's holding his ankle. Quite clearly, Gerson, though, makes contact with his ankle, doesn't he?
Well, he got a penalty at the start of his 4-goal haul in Lithuania. And I think that was probably a stronger case than last month.
I think in the sense of what we saw in the first half, there was probably 3 separate appeals for a penalty.
Here's Nelson Semedo now. Flipped away before the man could produce another extraordinary piece of skill.
I say for a second that infiltrates what the referee's thinking with regard to making a decision on the penalty. Subconsciously, you'd forgive him for being a little bit tired of repetitive appeals for something within the 18-yard box.
Gonzalo Guedes ready. It's coming on for Bernardo Silva here. They've got the first of the goals tonight. Big contribution from Bernardo Silva. The Manchester City man has been twisting, tormenting, pulling the Luxembourg defenders all over the place tonight. Now Gonzalo Guedes. Joao Felix goes in, just ahead of Morris.
This is the big shout from Ronaldo. He does take a touch. Well, it's quite clear kick of his feet, isn't it? This is clear a penalty. As you're going to see on a replay, we must state.
Yeah. Let's just remind ourselves here, we're in this age where VAR is there to support and help. That's a case in point. The referee makes his judgment instantly, doesn't have the benefit looking back. All very well for us, and no doubt for you watching wherever you are, saying, yeah, it was a penalty, but he's doing the best he can in difficult circumstances.
Absolutely. And again, we've just seen the most damning view of the incident, haven't we, which shows a quite clear-cut foul being committed on Ronaldo. As I said, I'm not saying that the referee's informed by what he saw in the first half, but subconsciously, unconsciously, whatever level of conscious we're going to talk about, Steves, maybe the referee's tired of seeing Portuguese players with their hands in the air every time a bit of contact's made inside the 18-yard box.
The story about the boy who cried wolf. On occasion, Cristiano Ronaldo clearly justified in his appeal. Glanced on here, and De Motta off Pepe.
Pepe there with his hands in the position that caused you so much consternation, Steve.
It's just having had the rule change in the summer, it's one of the most unnatural positions you can put your arms. But you understand why the defenders do it, of course. But they're so used to trying to avoid a deliberate handball. But the rule has been changed. They don't have to do that now. You're not going to tell me that's natural, are you?
No. Just thinking about footballers and rules, and sit them in a group and discuss the laws of the game, and watch how quickly they start looking out the window.
It's like a sleeping tablet, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Love running around, love kicking the ball, love scoring goals. The man you shy belongs to someone else, I think.
Twice as many passes completed. Good burst, Joao Felix. This one's gone. What nice parallel, of course, is for Cristiano Ronaldo scoring that really fabulous chip. This, albeit not quite the same stadium, but the same geographical location, is where it all began for him, really. A bit of a dribbler from Sinani. Of course, the island of Madeira and Funchal, very much his heart and soul, but Sporting, where he was picked up by Manchester United as a youngster, teenager. Portuguese media officer sent me through a list of all the youth appearances for all the squad yesterday, and you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, and he's got a huge number of appearances at under 15 level, especially. Shows you how quickly he was fast-tracked.
I think as well, I mean, regardless of how you view him over the course of not just his career, but as a person, that whole celebrity type element that comes with a footballer of his stature in the modern day, as an example to any youngster that wants to apply themselves in football to make the most of what they've got, to show exactly what hard work does create. The fact that you've got the whole spectrum of spectators applauding and enjoying his ability, but also his approach, testament to the hard work of the man.
Carlson's curler. Vietier.
I think the shortcut to an opinion is a domineering, all the flashcards he could possibly want, but my word, has that man worked for every single teammate that you hear from him First in training, last out.
Yes, it's always impossible to know what to buy you for Christmas. Jason Rodriguez. Vincent Thiel. De Motta, not quite clean with the return. Carlson. Plenty of endeavour and industry from Luxembourg. Red Lions playing with big hearts, but they are struggling to get to grips with some of the super talents against them. Laurent Jazz doing wonderfully well there, Luxembourg's captain. They've looked a little bit untidy, but he got the ball back for his team. Jason Rodriguez now. Guerrero, a teenager. Jessen. Olivier Thiel is wide. De Motta. One of those who does actually still play his club football in his homeland. Luxembourg's number 9 here. 47,000. Indicated on the giant screen as tonight's crowd, there or thereabouts.
It's been a nice appetizer, hasn't it, for what undoubtedly is the main course the other side of the weekend. Fernando Santos wanted in this game was domination of possession, domination of chances, not allowing too much of it to the opposition, getting players on the pitch so you can see who is ready to go as and when they're needed in the next game. Ticks a lot of boxes.
It's the first offside in the entire match. João Mario is coming on. There's confirmation. Cristiano Ronaldo, will it get there? Will it get there? No.
You just feel the temperature rise, don't you? Nice little give and go by Cristiano Ronaldo. Morris looks like he's just done enough in this instance. All credit to the Luxembourg defence. No fewer than 3 defenders going back towards their own goal.
.699 and waiting. Carlson. Nice give and go for Luxembourg, who continue to try and play good quality football. Barrero pulled the trigger. De Motta. And to their credit, still playing positively here. Not just sitting back and trying to prevent a big scoreline. They're coming out of their shells.
They've done that over the course of the game, you've got to say. Apart from that opening second half salvo, 10 minutes or so where there was chance after chance.
Olivier Thiel. And then brushed back to the fairly untroubled Rui Patricio by João Felix.
There was enough in the game as well to see Pepe and Danilo just reminding the players that they need to get to 90 minutes, they need to keep the sharpness. Relatively untroubled overall defensively, you've got to say, but from Pepe's point of view, I think he's frustrated at times about the pace and the passing, the rhythm that they've allowed themselves to lapse into in a game such as this when you do dominate the ball. See, look, got to move the ball quicker. Diaz there just motioning to his goalkeeper, Rui Patricio, that he wants the ball fizzed into him.
Ganesh, great strength. Such positive running from the Portuguese substitute.
And again, he gets the crowd up and off the seats in full voice.
Well, João Felix making way here for João Mario. He's moved from Italy to Moscow. Still João Felix waiting for his first Portugal goal, but surely just a matter of time. And Vincent Thiel being replaced by Stefano Benzi. He was a late call-up to the Luxembourg group. Came in for Maurice de Ville, effectively. Here's Raul Moutinho. Ronaldo! And off the line.